Dr. Eileen Marti is an infectious disease specialist and a professor at Florida International University. It's nice to see you. It's been a while. What kind of impact could this have, this FDA approval have? And do you think that those who have been hesitant until now to get vaccinated will finally get a shot?
I think by having the FDA approval, people will be aware of something that we in the science and medical community have recognized now after reviewing all the data. And that is that the science is in, the information is in, these vaccines are safe and efficacious. They do not cause any of the silly things that you read about in Facebook and other social media. These are very, very effective. Now, yes, we do have some breakthrough cases. The vast majority of breakthrough cases are in individuals who have an underlying reason for not being able to mount a strong immunologic response. And for these people, we've already approved giving a third shot. And even with that third shot, those individuals, people, for example, who have transplants or are taking certain medications because they have autoimmune diseases, are going to need to continue to use non-pharmaceutical additional protection. That even that third dose won't be enough for them. For the rest of us that don't fit in that category, the data is also indicating that we do have a little loss of immunity, not at the same rate as people who experience wild disease, native COVID. Those individuals lose their resistance to the SARS-2 virus, especially against variants like the Beta variant and the Delta variant that are so much more contagious and so much more potent. So the news of getting an additional dose for people who don't mount a good enough response is very good. The news that it's going to be fully licensed, now it's just a matter of doing the paperwork because the science is in, safe and effective. And then the news that we're all going to get a booster shot to bring our immunity back up to that much stronger level is also very reassuring, and people should avail themselves of this as soon as possible.
And I want to go back to what you were saying, that news that the booster shot is now recommended for all Americans. But Dr. Fauci today said that if you are getting that booster shot too soon, it could backfire. So what should Americans know about booster shots going forward?
So the immune system is a phenomenally complex and fascinating aspect of the way our bodies work. And different cells learn to do different things at different times and in different ways, and they take their time to do what they need to do to form the best immunity. So there are ideal times for taking an additional booster. And so anywhere after 6.5 months is already going to be good. Up to 10 months after is still good. So they sort of ballparked it at 8 months after you completed your previous series. And that's a reasonable place to be, also for being able to make sure that we have enough vaccine for everyone that wants it, and at the right time, so that we're able to produce enough so you boost your immunity at the right time.
This week, the CDC reporting the highest hospitalization rate for children to date, and we now have new models out by the doctor from Oklahoma State Medical Association that show that up to 80% of elementary school age kids could get the virus if they don't use masks and schools don't conduct regular COVID tests. So in your state in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis has threatened to pull funding for schools with mask mandates. What are the effects of that going to be going forward and now? And do you think that will change now, given the new information about children and COVID?
Well, let's start with the fact that this Delta variant is extremely potent. There's many studies from Canada, from Singapore, from all over the world showing higher odds of hospitalization at all ages, higher odds of needing oxygen, higher odds of doing poorly. And unfortunately, this includes our children. And I think a lot of people don't realize that last year, we protected our precious, wonderful children. And that protection gave us a false sense of security about how children respond to the SARS-2 virus. Now that they are closer together and already starting schools, we're seeing the consequence of what happens, particularly with the unvaccinated children, and children under 12 are not even eligible for a vaccine yet. And the consequence is children in hospitals, which is absolutely tragic. Not only that, JAMA Pediatrics came out with a very major study confirming work done by Christian Dorson last year that even small children produce massive amounts of virus and are highly contagious, even children under 3.
All right, Dr. Eileen Marti, thank you. Appreciate having you tonight.
Welcome.